This is KMTV 3 News Now, this morning.
Good morning, I'm Maya Saenz. Thanks for joining us. Today is Tuesday, March 3rd. Now we have a special morning lined up. Courtney Johns and Mark Sitz are live at the Henry Doorly Zoo, where they'll be making a big announcement this morning. Now we'll be talking with them in a moment, but first, Weather Alert Team Meteorologist Audra Moore joins us with a look at what you can expect when you head outside today. Now it's not too bad this morning, Audra. I think this could be a chance to wear a light jacket, perhaps.
Yeah, I would maybe keep the coat handy this morning. Some of us are a little bit on the cooler side, but here you could probably get away with a light jacket, and you're certainly maybe just going to need a light jacket later on today because it's still going to be a bit breezy, but our temperatures are going to be warming up in a very nice way this afternoon. We've mainly seen just a couple of clouds moving through tonight and into this morning. Other than that, we did see a couple sprinkles try to get going just after midnight, but those are out of here too. So overall, we're going to see more sunshine throughout the day today, and the winds are going to start to pick up a little bit more too. Starting to see some of that sunshine on the horizon. Looking back to the east, we're at 37 degrees right now here in Omaha. West-northwest wind at about 12 miles per hour. It does make it feel colder, more like 29 out there this morning, so keep that in mind. It does feel much colder than it actually is. But some of our temperatures in your neighborhoods, Millard coming in at 35 right now, 36 in Council Bluffs, and 33 in Bellevue. So most of us are still in those low to mid 30s. The winds, again, a little bit on the breezier side for some of us, anywhere from about 5 to 15 miles per hour. Those winds are going to be picking up, eventually gusting anywhere from 20 to almost 30 miles per hour as we go through the later part of this morning and into the afternoon. Now, the good news, overall, going to be a pretty good day. However, we do have a small chance for a few stray showers later on this evening. So overall, the emojis are pretty happy for the rest of the middle part of this week, especially tomorrow. We get into Thursday, though, still nice, but there is a cold front that's going to be coming through, so that one will impact our temperatures. We'll talk a little bit more about that cool down and those rain chances tonight coming up in just a bit.
Traffic Now, sponsored by Rebath. Full bathroom remodels made effortless. Schedule an in-home design appointment today.
Good morning, everyone, and thanks for joining us. I'm Danielle Davis. Now, when it comes to traffic, well, just a few slow-ups out there right now. It looks like Dodge Street has a few slow-ups going just about 30 miles per hour. And then we have a few slow-ups on 221st Street. There are a few slow-ups there as well. But other than that, well, your travel times overall on the average are still looking pretty good right now. Let's take a look at those. So everything's moving pretty slowly, even slightly above the speed limit as you guys get ready to head out this morning. So go ahead and grab that cup of coffee and head out. This is Danielle Davis with 3 News Now with your traffic update.
All right, thank you, Danny. Well, there was a lot of excitement at Omaha's Henry Doorly Zoo and Aquarium this morning. Now, our very own Courtney Johns is there with some special guests. Good morning, Courtney.
Hey, good morning, Maya. Yeah, we're live at Omaha's Henry Doorly Zoo and Aquarium with a very exciting announcement today. We're inside the Wild Kingdom Pavilion with CEO and Executive Director Dennis Pate. Thank you so much for joining us.
Happy to be here.
So we've been talking about this all morning, so let's talk about the big announcement. There's a congratulations in order for you guys.
Yeah, we've done a lot of homework on this one, and it's our 125th anniversary.
125 years.
Going back to 1895 when we acquired our first animals in Riverview Park.
Wow, it's amazing. We were talking about the history of the zoo and that you guys are one of the longest running establishments really in Omaha of something of this scale.
Yeah, you know, when you go back to 1895 when the original Parks and Boulevard system was set up and this land was acquired to be Riverview Park, there was a long history of concerts and military parades, all that sort of thing. So the zoo has been tied to Riverview Park since then, and the community has been tied to Riverview Park for a long time for a lot of citywide celebrations.
And I wanted to talk a little bit, you guys have a new logo for the zoo as well for the 125th anniversary. It's got a little animal print to it. You guys are having a lot of fun celebrating the zoo and trying to get other people involved in sharing their memories. Tell us about that.
We've been doing a lot of brainstorming about how we want to do this, and most of it centers around getting the community to participate in sharing their memories of what the zoo has meant to them.
And you mentioned it's, you know, a generational thing because of how long the zoo's been around, you know, parents bringing their kids, grandparents bringing their grandchildren. How long have you been a part of the zoo?
In a few days, it'll be 11 years.
11 years.
11 years. I came in March of '09.
What do you think the zoo means to people around here?
Well, you know, it's a lot of shared memories for people, and a lot of it in the last 50 years has been around the lions in front. I'm sure a lot of people can look back and see more than one generation huddled around those lions taking pictures when they arrive at the zoo. But it's a lot of shared memories. More recently, it's just getting kids out from behind their computers, from behind their cell phones, which is a one-on-one kind of thing, and families come and they can share the experience with each other rather than their phones or their computer. So it's a really neat opportunity for that sort of thing. And of course for us, making sure animals are part of their lives forever starts right here at the zoo.
And you guys have made a lot of effort in conservation and education, just getting kids involved in the area. I feel like the zoo has just grown so much in even the last 5 years.
Yeah, you know, a lot of zoos started out as menageries, just collections of animals. And then probably, close to 50 years now, education, the importance of education started coming in. And we really needed to think about, so what are we doing for the next generation of animal lovers? How are we helping them? And so the education across the country were born, and ours as well. And then because of what's happening in the wild, conservation became a more and more and more important part of what we do. It's hard for us to think about caring for so much for the animals here inside our perimeter fence without caring for their brethren in the wild too. And so we do both here.
Yes, you guys do a lot. And speaking of education, we will be doing a 60-minute special here at KMTV talking about some of the secrets of the zoo. We're doing behind the scenes look. We'll be talking to zookeepers, looking at conservation efforts, looking at education, just a lot of things that maybe you haven't noticed about the zoo, even if you've come here 5 times, 10 times, just some of the secrets and fun things. So the first one will be airing on May 9th at 7 p.m. Now today we're doing an hour-long special this morning live at the zoo, so we'll have Dennis join us again later on. We also have a couple animal visitors, and we will be looking at some of the education programs that the zoo provides. So a lot of excitement this morning, Maya.
All right, thank you, Courtney. Looking forward to it. Well, four medical evacuees got to go home yesterday and on Sunday. Meanwhile, doctors in Omaha are still keeping an eye on 11 others for any additional symptoms of coronavirus. Now, all 11 still in the National Quarantine Unit have tested positive for the virus, but doctors say they're doing well. Now, they're still undergoing testing, and Nebraska Medicine says a few may be able to leave the unit later this week. Now, 2 of those now listed as recovered were among the 4 people who left Omaha after 14 days at the Nebraska Medicine campus. Now, 2 who never tested positive spoke about their time here, while doctors are still monitoring their husbands. Both thanked everyone who helped them during their time here in Omaha and admitted leaving with mixed emotions.
You know, I woke up this morning and it was like, oh, I should be doing a happy dance. And I wasn't doing a happy dance, I was doing a sad dance.
Will my friends shun me? Will they shun us, be afraid of us? I try to think how I would feel if it were them and they were coming. I don't know. That concerns me.
Nebraska Medicine officials say they're requiring anyone who interacts with the coronavirus patients to log and track their temperature in any systems twice a day using texting software. As of now, they say there are no more requests to bring patients to Omaha for treatment. Now you can get the latest on efforts to help those leaving Omaha, the coronavirus patient still here, and the global effort to deal with the virus on our webpage, 3newsnow.com. Again, we have a news team out at the Henry Doorly Zoo this morning for a special report, and that includes my partner in crime, Courtney, who is out there. So Courtney, how's it going out there?
It's awesome, Maya. It's really nice in here. We actually get to be inside right now, which is nice because it's a little windy out there. It's really interesting to see inside the zoo when it's dark out and just see everything that's going on. So special this morning live at the zoo. We're going to be talking to Dennis Pate. We're going to be seeing some animals, and we're going to look at some of the education programs that
You're watching KMTV 3 News Now with Courtney Johns, Maya Sines, and weather with meteorologist Mark Stitz. This is KMTV 3 News Now this morning. This weather alert forecast sponsored by Elite Exteriors, roofing, siding, windows, and storm damage.
Good morning once again, everyone. I'm Mark Stitz here live at the Henry Dorley Zoo and Aquarium celebrating 125 years. Now, a little bit chilly outside this morning. Thankfully, we are inside, so not having to deal with any of that wind out there. And actual temperatures right now pretty much coming in the 30s for most of our cities. And then we can also see it's a little bit chilly out there. Again, 30 is very common here in Omaha right now, about 37 degrees. So again, that's what we're dealing with outside, which doesn't sound awful, but it's the wind that's really starting to get to many of our areas. So as far as the wind goes out there, wind speeds are from 5 to 15 miles per hour in a lot of our cities. And we're going to continue to see that as we go through the rest of the morning. Those winds will continue to pick up as we go into the afternoon. But of course, when you factor those winds into the temperature right now, it's feeling pretty cold outside. Current wind chills right now 29 degrees here in Omaha, so that's the number you want to dress for as you head out the door this morning. Other areas though feeling like the mid-20s, so definitely on the cool side. But again, those wind gusts over the next 24 hours are going to continue to climb. So you think it's a little bit breezy out there this morning, those winds will be even worse as we go into the second half of the day. You can see some wind gusts later on this afternoon and heading into the evening hours. We'll be gusting around 25, maybe even 30 miles per hour. So again, it's going to be warmer out there today, but along with it also coming the wind. Now, overnight did have a few flurries out there, and actually a few sprinkles, I should say, not flurries, but those clouds are now starting to clear from those sprinkles, and we'll see plenty of sunshine through the rest of the day. So let's switch you on over to Futurecast and show you what we are expecting here as we continue through the rest of the day. As we go towards the lunch hour, again, mostly sunny skies at that point, and temperatures very rapidly climbing. We could be in the low 50s just for your lunch hour, and then as we go into the afternoon, it's going to be feeling real good. We're looking at temperatures well above average for this time of year. Now, the one thing we have to watch for is going to be mainly in the evening hours. Your drive home, no issues there. But as we go towards 6, 7 o'clock this evening, a couple of hit and miss rain showers are going to try to push into our area. Again, not going to cause any issues or anything like that, just some wet roadways. And the best chance of catching some of that rainfall will be basically north and east of the Omaha Metro, but can't rule out a couple of those little spotty rain showers hitting the Omaha Metro in a few areas as well. Now, that quickly comes to an end as we go into the late night hours into tomorrow morning. So we are going to be dry tomorrow and even warmer. Winds not quite as bad either. So we're looking at a really nice forecast for tomorrow, even better than we are expecting for today. Now, the problem is as we go into Thursday morning, a cold front is going to come through and that is going to start to drop our temperatures a little bit more. Good news though, it's not going to be that strong of a cold front. Temperatures probably only dip down into the mid 50s, but you can see behind the cold front, those winds do shift a little bit more out of the north and they'll be strong behind the cold front, making it feel a little bit extra cold on Thursday. But again, mid-50s, we'll take it for early parts of March. So today, afternoon high is going to be pretty close to what we saw yesterday, but even better. It looks like we're going to top out pretty close into the upper 40s for a lot of our areas, and eventually, again, that's just at lunchtime. Highs today around 59 degrees with a whole lot of sunshine. Now, overnight tonight, then, we are going to cool things off. It looks like down into the 20s or 30s for a lot of us. And then tomorrow afternoon, again, things get even better. It looks like we're going to top out pretty close to 61 with mostly sunny skies. But again, on the 7-day, you'll see that those temperatures do slide back into the mid-50s as we go into Thursday and Friday, but keeping it dry and mostly sunny, just breezy on Thursday. And then the weekend looking good. It's going to be windy, but temperatures will be well, and I mean well above average, flirting with 70 degrees both Saturday and Sunday. But as we go into late Sunday into Monday, some rain does look to start to move into the region, so we'll keep updating you on the timing of that as we get a little bit closer, but just know temperatures well above average for the rest of the week and into the weekend. Now for more on what the zoo is celebrating this weekend, we'll look at some of the critters maybe. Let's head over to Courtney.
Hey Mark, yeah, we are at the Wild Kingdom Pavilion at Omaha's Henry Dorley Zoo and Aquarium, and with me today is Heather Bizek, who is the program supervisor here for the area, and we're doing a demonstration right now, I heard.
We are.
Yeah, I was told that we would be feeding fish, but I didn't realize what we're feeding the fish with. So tell me a little bit on what we're doing today.
So this morning is something that we do every day at 10:30 here in the Wild Kingdom Pavilion. So it's to get people up close and personal and create that connection that we're talking about with animals, right?
Uh-huh.
So we are going to be feeding our archer fish this morning.
Okay.
Which, indicative of their name, is archer fish. These fish love to eat crickets.
Okay.
So are you ready?
I didn't realize I was going to be touching actually.
It's totally fine. So
okay.
just 2 fingers, just hold it right back there.
I'm sorry. Okay. Sorry. Okay, I can do it.
You got it. Perfect. She's trembling, but she's awesome. Okay. Now just put your hand up to the mesh.
Okay.
And as soon as they, there we go.
Okay. Okay, that wasn't as bad as I thought it would be.
It wasn't.
So you do this every morning with
We do.
And do, whoa! So, is that what the, what was that?
That was the archer part of the fish.
Okay, so, why do they squirt water like that?
So they squirt water, that's their way of hunting. So they are carnivores and they need to get their prey. Crickets don't just hang out in the water, but they love insects, worms, mealworms, crickets, everything else like that. And as the crickets are climbing on plants, the archerfish have adapted and they have a groove on the top of their mouth. They shoot water out of their mouth up to 10 feet far.
Wow.
Yeah, to knock that prey off of the plants into the water, and they do hunt in groups. So as you see here, I don't know if you guys can see on camera, but there's a school of fish right here.
Let's take a look at the fish here.
There are actually four-eyed fish and archerfish in here. They both eat the crickets, but only the ones with the black stripes, the archerfish, are the ones that are shooting the water out. Sometimes the four-eyed fish grab a quick snack if they're fast enough.
Okay, so I'm gonna try one more.
See, she's ready to do it. This is exactly what happens at our 10:30 encounter every day, is that once you get the itch for feeding these fish, you always want to do it. She's even going into the container to do it herself.
Okay,
you got it.
Oh, it got me in the mouth.
It's just a little salty water, a little brackish.
Okay, we've got a cricket loose there too.
Good job.
So this is just one of the many interactive things that you can experience at the zoo. Yeah. Why is it important that we have things like this as opposed to just being able to see the fish in the aquarium? Why is it important?
So as you can see, you had emotions elicited, right?
Yes, I did.
Absolutely. So it's our way of how to do the zoo. So we talk about zoo to you, but this is zoo that you do here at the zoo. So that interactive moment creates that empathy, creates that bond to those animals, and you're going to make that memory and you're going to remember it.
Yeah, I definitely
you will remember that, won't you?
Will not forget that. Now, coming up, we're going to talk about a distance learning program for people who may not be able to actually come here and experience something like that. There it is again. Experience something like that, but still appreciate what the zoo has to offer. So we'll have that coming up in just a little bit.
For amazing tension relief and muscle relaxation, or try an adjustable bed with power for the ultimate sleep experience. Plus, take 4 years to pay. Find the mattress you'll love at Lebanon.
So, whoa, sorry.
Okay,
Yeah, he got me.
We've trained them. They're just like, if we just sit here, you'll just drop it at me.
Okay, so you guys just want me like sitting in this?
So your tub, your shower, your bathroom will fit your lifestyle. And we stand by our products with a lifetime guarantee. It's time to remodel your bathroom with Rebath. Schedule your free in-home design consultation today.
With new Casey's Rewards, you can turn pizza into school donations. Download the Casey's app and earn points you can turn into donations to the schools you care about most. Or turn points into Casey's Cash or fuel discounts. Start earning more ways to give and get a little more good. Casey's Rewards. Points for school, points for you, points for fuel, points for good. Now at Casey's, our delicious handmade taco pizza is just $13.99. Casey's, here for good.
You've invested so much in owning a home. Now, it's time to protect that investment with siding from
There's so little information on this particular snake on the internet.
Seamless
I spent
siding
putting time with it.
Imagine worry-free siding that looks great and protects your home from
He came here at 4 months old from Steinhardt.
30 away.
Okay.
I don't know.
But that means he was most likely born in the U.S. and not. Yeah.
Yep, he was hatched out there.
When was you last weighed or measured?
Welcome back. We are live at Omaha's Henry Dorley Zoo and Aquarium at the Kingdom Outreach Center. Standing in one of the Jeeps in here, it's just one of the many things that kids kind of get to have fun and climb up on. But there's also some really interesting outreach programs that the zoo has, including the Zoo to You program. And it allows kids and classes to connect with the zoo from around the area and even outside of the state and outside of the country. So I talked to the program outreach coordinator, Peter Brunette, about the program itself. And he said last month they reached 17 different states and Canada on top of that. Now, this program's been going strong for 10 years, and I asked Peter how Zoo to You got started.
The virtual connection started because we were getting all these requests from places that are like, we just can't afford to bus our kids, and if we spend 3 hours each way, they're not going to have a positive experience. How can you bring something more?
So I asked him what the most popular thing was, what the kids were always asking about. And they always asked about the penguin experience. And who can blame them? The penguins are super adorable. There's tons of animals at the zoo, very fun. Now, coming up, we're going to take a look at the Zoo Ambassador Program as we continue to celebrate Omaha Henry Dorley Zoo and Aquarium's 125th anniversary. Stay with us.
This weather alert forecast sponsored by Elite Exteriors, roofing, siding, windows, and storm damage.
Taking a look across the region, you can see temperatures not too uncommon for this time of year, even running above average. So again, 37 degrees right now in Omaha, and we cannot complain about that in early March. But some areas like the Nebraska Panhandle are running a little bit cooler out there, down into the mid-20s in some places, including Chadron right now at 26. As far as the rest of Iowa right now, running in the low to mid-30s. Now again, we had a few sprinkles out there overnight last night, didn't cause any issues. Your roadways are completely dry for the morning commute. And now most importantly, even more so than a dry morning commute, let's talk about our Nebraska Humane Society dog of the day. This adorable one named Roxy, just a couple of years old. So yes, plenty of puppy energy still left in this one. Now we are told though would not do best with the younger kiddos, might be a little bit too overwhelming. Obviously kids have a lot of energy just like Roxy, and maybe not the perfect combination of the two. But again, if you have older kids or no kids at home, Roxy looking for her forever home and her forever family. We're told she absolutely loves to play with her toys, and also already knows some of the basic commands like sit, shake, and things like that. And you even get a free training lesson with Roxy. Even though she already knows a lot, she could always know a little bit more to help you train. Now, as far as that dog walking forecast for today, again, it's going to be a little bit breezy, but temperature-wise, really nice out there. Just at lunchtime, if you're headed home on break, we'll be in the low 50s. And then as we get into those afternoon hours, when you get home from work, we'll be around 57 degrees at that point. But again, keeping it mostly sunny, just maybe have the windbreaker on since it will be windy out there. And by 9 o'clock before you head to bed, temperatures back down into the upper 40s. Courtney?
Yeah, Mark, you know, I love the dog forecast. You know, we both love animals so much, but this is kind of a stretch outside my comfort zone. I'm not sure about you, but you better come over here too so you can meet our new best friend. He's running right now. Super excited. So I've got Peter Burnett. We were talking to you earlier.
Yeah.
You're the program outreach coordinator.
Correct.
What do we have here?
Yeah, this is one of the animals we bring out to programs we do in person, like at libraries and school assemblies. This is a cave-dwelling rat snake.
Uh-huh. Tell us a little bit about this. Mark, you get in between me
Well,
on this. You can sit right here.
One thing that I love about this snake is you can see it's super long and skinny, and that's because, unlike most snakes, it's found mainly in caves. Caves aren't normally a great environment for snakes because they're a little bit cold. But in the rainforests of Thailand and Malaysia, there's these warm, humid caves that are home to thousands of bats. And in these caves, this snake can stretch it out, and instead of catching the bats while they're asleep, it's actually strong enough and fast enough to stretch out and catch the bats out of midair.
And how long is this one?
Probably about 7.5 feet, but it's really hard to stretch out the snake, so it normally will stay...
I don't trust things that are taller than me.
Stay a little bit wound up. Let's see if I can get you a good look at just how long this snake is.
Oh my goodness.
Now, why is his tongue, it kind of splits at the end? Is that just how tongues are for snakes?
Well, that helps them with picking up all those scent
curling
molecules in the air. You've probably heard that snakes smell through their tongue.
Yes.
And so they've got this special Jacobson's organ at the roof of their mouth. They'll take all those scent particles, put it in their mouth. It's really important for a snake like this that lives where it's dark because it's relying on its thermoreception and its smell to catch those bats rather than its eyes and its vision.
So tell us a little bit about outreach, what you guys do to educate people and scare Mark, frankly.
Well, we're hoping that people will see these animals up close and develop a new appreciation for animals and not be scared. What we want to do is to go around to all these communities within Nebraska and then even without through our virtual programs and help teach kids to save the earth. We do it at schools. We visit a lot of after-school programs at Title I schools in urban areas in town. We visit rural libraries to visit all these communities where it might be impossible to come visit the zoo more than once or twice. And we want to bring the zoo and the message of the zoo to people who couldn't see it in other ways.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. We got to get going before Mark has a heart attack here. Coming up, we'll take a look at your top stories, and we've got another interview with Dennis Pate. Stay with us.
This is KMTV 3 News Now, this morning.
Good morning, I'm Maya Signs. Today is Tuesday, March 3rd, and we have a special show today as we have part of our team at the Henry Doorly Zoo this morning. Now we'll be rejoining Courtney and Mark at the zoo here in a little bit, but first we begin with a check of our weather for today with Audra. Now Audra, I have a feeling a lot of people will be turning their ACs on later today.
Yeah, you know, it's getting to be that point in March where that can happen sometimes. I know I'm not quite ready for that, but maybe some are. Definitely going to be a good afternoon to head on out to the zoo, so that's good news. If anyone is planning to do that. Out there, though, our weather's pretty quiet this morning. We did have a few clouds that moved through overnight into early this morning and a couple sprinkles, too, but those are way out of here by this point, and we're going to see more sunshine as we go throughout our day. It's going to be a little bit on the breezier side, though. West winds eventually gusting up to about 20, almost 30 miles per hour, so that's going to make it feel a little bit cooler. That's certainly what it is doing this morning. Right now, though, finally seeing the sunrise, so don't forget the sunglasses as you're heading out the door. We are at 37 degrees here in Omaha. Keep in mind, with that northwest breeze, though, at 12 miles per hour, it feels more like 29. So I would keep the coat handy this morning. You're still going to need that there. But as we go into the afternoon, you won't need it then. So as the kids are heading out to the bus stop this morning, temperature still in the mid to upper 30s. I would keep that coat handy just because it does feel colder with that breeze. But as we go into the afternoon, they won't need it when they're coming home from school. Temperatures are going to be in the 50s by that point. We'll see more sunshine. There's a chance for a couple of showers coming up in our forecast. We'll talk a little bit more about that and the continuing warm up in just a little bit.
All right, thank you, Audra. Well, in case you missed it, just a few minutes ago, 3 News Now was proud to be a part of the Henry Doorly Zoo and Aquarium announcement of their 125th anniversary celebration. Now, joining us live from the zoo is our very own Courtney Johns. And Courtney, very fun and special morning for you guys out there.
Yeah, really exciting. Lots of fun going on. Even though the zoo is obviously closed right now, lots of people here to celebrate this exciting moment, including CEO and Executive Director of Omaha's Henry Doorly Zoo and Aquarium, Dennis Pate. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning.
So we were talking a little bit about the zoo map and how it's hard to even have a map out because of how quickly the zoo is changing.
It's so true. Even I was just looking at this one. This one is a little out of date, and this one's pretty new. It says under construction. Well, this construction is 3/4 of the way complete already.
Wow.
We're doing other things. So this is the new sea lion pool, and that'll open this fall. But we've made, of course, with this weather, we've made really good progress on that. And so really, probably the most immersive exhibit we've ever done. The aquarium, that's been a construction zone all winter. That'll be wrapped up here in about a month. And if you may remember, in 11 and 12, we redid the inside. Now this is a second chance to do the outside. And so we're redoing the entire outside, and it's going to be spectacular. With waves and LED lights and all that sort of thing.
Lots of exciting things to look forward to, and we have something brand new that we want to show you, which is your guys' new graphic for celebrating the 125th anniversary. Let's bring it up here on the screen right now. It's really cool. It's got like a little animal print to it, right?
Yeah, inside the numbers there's an animal print, and it's really kind of done with a flourish to celebrate that. It's always done with our logo, but the zoo is, when I sit on an airplane and I hear people talk about the zoo, it's really interesting. And they always say, our zoo.
Really?
Yes. And so there's a lot of ownership of this place. It's really kind of incredible.
You know,
I work here, but it's their zoo.
It is, and it's amazing too. People from outside of Omaha, outside of Nebraska. I mean, when I tell people I'm from Omaha, they say, "Oh yeah, I saw your zoo. That's an incredible zoo you guys have there." So it's definitely one of Omaha's hot spots, one of the areas that we're very proud of. What does this mean for people in Omaha?
Well, it's a really chance to celebrate. There's all kinds of memories that have been developed here over decades and decades and decades. The zoo is changing pretty rapidly, so things that your grandfather may have seen may not be here anymore, but the experience is what stays the same. It's more interactive now than it was when your grandfather may have been here. We see more animals out. Education's much more prominent. We focus on our graphics a lot more. At the Sea Lion, at the Owens Sea Lion, we're going to focus on ocean health and how Nebraska is connected to the ocean. So we'll have animals in there, but there's bigger stories for us that come out of that.
Yeah, lots of education, lots of fun going on here. And coming up, Maya, we're going to take a look at another education program that is available for kids as young as pre-K up to high schoolers. So lots of fun out here.
All right, thank you, Courtney. Well, 4 people cleared of the coronavirus left the University of Nebraska Medical Center quarantine yesterday. Others still in isolation might be released later this week. A Nebraska medicine spokesperson says 2 people who had coronavirus but later tested negative were able to leave on Sunday. 2 women who stayed negative throughout the quarantine left yesterday. Now, one of them, Jerry Serrati Goldman, praised the top-notch care she and her husband received the past couple of weeks. It got a bit emotional when she talked about it.
This has been an amazing experience. The way that the staff treated us, you know, friends are saying, "Oh my gosh, how can you do it?" It was seamless. This place is special, and you guys should be very, very proud.
Both women have husbands who are still in quarantine on Nebraska Medicine's campus. They're among 11 others who are undergoing testing. So far, a Nebraska Medicine spokesperson says a majority of them have shown either minor or no symptoms of the disease. Now, with no vaccine to prevent contracting the virus, medical experts say the number of cases of infection will likely increase rapidly here in the U.S. Now, we've been hearing businesses and schools should have a pandemic plan in place, but there are some steps you can take to get ready just in case. Now, they say to be prepared to stay home for up to 2 weeks if you become sick. They say to distance yourself from others who are sick, and regular hand washing is also recommended.
Social distancing and perhaps stopping large-scale events and things like that. And I know no one wants to hear about that, but those are the things that are going to be really important to really slow it down in communities where the prevalence starts to happen.
Now, one person at the National Quarantine Unit in Omaha did meet requirements to be part of the first clinical trial in the country to test a potential coronavirus drug. Now, this comes as the coronavirus death toll in the U.S. jumped dramatically yesterday. Now, health officials now say the virus is to blame for 6 deaths, up from 2 yesterday. 4 of those victims lived at the same nursing home in Washington state. The CDC says future outbreaks are inevitable, as there are now at least 105 confirmed cases in 15 different states throughout the U.S. Now, while the number of new cases in China is leveling off, the coronavirus is now responsible for more than 3,100 deaths worldwide. There are now nearly 91,000 confirmed cases in at least 74 different countries. The total number of people listed as recovered is 48,000. Now to our campaign 2020 coverage now. There are now just 5 Democrats left in the presidential race. Minnesota Senator Amy Klobuchar is the latest to drop out. Last night, she joined former candidates Pete Buttigieg and Beto O'Rourke at a Joe Biden campaign event. Klobuchar's announcement before today's vote in 14 states surprised many, coming one day after she told reporters she was staying in the race.
Well, I had been thinking about this for a while, and the nature of campaigns is you keep going until you stop.
Klobuchar's announcement came just hours after making a campaign stop in Utah, where she gave no indication that she'd be dropping out of the race. Well, today is Super Tuesday, which could prove critical to several of the 5 candidates left in the field. Voters in 14 states will head to the polls with about 1/3 of the delegates in play today. Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders goes into the day hoping to expand his overall lead, while Joe Biden tries to build on the momentum from his South Carolina win this past weekend. Now it's the first true test for Mike Bloomberg, who spent more than $500 million in his campaign. Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren will try to win her home state. Right now, she and Tulsi Gabbard are the only women left in the race.
Traffic Now, sponsored by Rebath. Full bathroom remodels made effortless. Schedule an in-home design appointment today.
Good morning and thanks for joining us on this Super Tuesday. I'm Danielle Davis. Now, we do already have quite a few accidents happening out there on our roadways. Well, first of all, we've got some stop and go traffic over by Dodge Road at about 204th Street. And then we have a ramp closed on I-80 westbound at exit 449 and 72nd Street. And that's because, well, there was a crash at I-80 eastbound at the exit 450 at 60th Street. Now, just popping up also is another crash at Military Road and Spalding, so it's probably going to slow down your traffic hotspots just a little bit. But let's take a look and see what's happening out there on those roadways right now. Yes, I-80 westbound does have quite a bit of a slow up right now, so give yourself enough travel time as you're heading to work this morning. But other than that, the rest of your travel times look pretty good out there on our expressways. And as you head out, just a few road closures to be mindful of. This is Danielle Davis with your 3 News Now traffic update.
All right, thanks, Danny. Omaha theater fans of all ages will soon get the chance to ask, do you want to build a snowman? Now, the musical Frozen is coming to Omaha. I'm very excited for that one, but you'll have to wait a year to go see it. OPA announced the show based on the popular Disney movie is one of 7 Broadway musicals coming for the 2020-2021 season. Others include Cats, Fiddler on the Roof, Mean Girls, Ain't Too Proud to Beg, and A Christmas Story. The schedule also includes the Aaron Sorkin play To Kill a Mockingbird, which is still showing on Broadway, and several musical acts, including Boss Gags.
Yeah, and it's so exciting. We're so lucky to have such great shows that make it to Omaha. So really excited.
We really
about
do
all
have a
those.
great lineup already. This past year was a great lineup, and already looking forward to the next one.
Yeah, just keeps getting better.
I know. Well, we just told you about a special milestone at the Henry Dorley Zoo and Aquarium. Cool exhibits are just part of the zoo's staying power. Coming up, we'll look at the education program that's passing a love of animals on to the next generation. Stay with us.
Good morning and welcome back. We're at Omaha's Henry Dorley Zoo and Aquarium live outside. A little chilly out there, and you can see the Desert Dome behind me as the sun rises this morning. We're celebrating the zoo's 125th anniversary, and another big anniversary is right around the corner. That's the Zoo Academy for the kids, and I talked to some of the students about the program and what it means to them. Walking through Omaha's Henry Dorley Zoo and Aquarium, you may think Abby Seavey-Walls is on a field trip. But this is just another day in class for the senior.
Ooh, look at that. The iguana.
Abby is a part of the Zoo Academy.
Well, right now during the day, he's like out of the sun, which is what they do in the desert anyways. Like they'd hibernate kind of, not really hibernate, but they'd sleep during the day to avoid the heat.
Here, students have your typical high school curriculum, but many of the courses tie into different animal-related careers, from learning zoology,
More active at night, save energy during the day,
to shadowing zoo employees.
We had penguin chicks, and my keeper at the time let me pet them, like just once, but he was like, you know, you can feel it if you want. And it was the softest thing I ever touched, ever, and it was just really cool.
We have quite a few students that have gone up through the system. They become interns here, and they've gone to work in other organizations, or they become employees here.
People like Miranda Weldon.
It really helped me understand what I wanted to do with my life. I've always known I wanted to work with animals, but I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do with animals.
Weldon graduated from the Zoo Academy in 2010. Now, 10 years later, she's back, working as a zookeeper.
We go through, we take care of all of our animals, we feed them in the morning, we make sure they're all looking okay, and then usually in the afternoon we do a lot of our training. So we try to train all of our animals every single day. It's very stimulating for them, but it also allows us to take them out for presentations and to be used around people.
And while not every kid ends up in the industry, VP of Education Elizabeth Mulcairn says they all learn important lessons.
Not all kids will become a scientist or go into animal career paths, but all kids are developing their empathy for nature and wildlife, and they're also building the mindset for conservation to make sure that we have a future for our wildlife.
Grow in arid regions of South Africa and Namibia.
As for Abby's future, she hopes to become a vet, focusing on orthopedics.
I think it's really cool about orthopedics is that during the surgeries they can completely alter the biomechanics of like how a joint or a bone functions, and that's really cool. So I think I want to pursue that.
And it's not just the high schoolers that get to learn all of this cool stuff. They have kids as young as pre-kindergarten getting to enjoy some of those classes at the Education Center. Now let's send it over to Mark, who I hear has a special guest with him.
This weather alert forecast sponsored by Elite Exteriors, roofing, siding, windows, and storm damage.
Our special guest is on his way over. Watson, you want to come over here? Oh, Watson just went straight that way. I don't even think with Watson's great hearing he can hear me at this point if I yelled for him. So we'll see. Oh, Watson, come here, bud. Hey, Watson, come here, bud. You want to come on TV? There he is. This is Watson, the unofficial mascot of the Omaha Henry Dorley Zoo and Aquarium. And look at this adorable little guy. The zoo actually adopted this guy 6 years ago, and he helps with outreach programs. You've probably seen him here at the zoo if you're a frequent visitor or member. So Watson, we appreciate you being here and helping out with the forecast, buddy. And we're told and he's done. So thank you, Watson, for stopping on by. All right, let's talk about the weather out there. You can see a little bit chilly out there this morning. Right now, 37 degrees in Omaha at Eppley Airfield, and those mid-30s very common across many of our cities across the region. So that map doesn't look bad. The problem is the wind that's also being factored in. Those winds right now around 10, 15 miles per hour in a lot of our cities right now. Here in Omaha, pretty close to that as well. So of course, that is making it feel a little bit colder out there. The wind chill, when you look at that wind, it looks like temperatures are feeling more like the upper 20s for a number of our cities. And here in Omaha, we do feel like 29. So just a little bit breezy out there this morning. The problem is those winds are going to continue to pick up as we go later and later into the day. Eventually, you can see those wind gusts over the next 24 hours will be approaching about 25 to 30 miles per hour at times, especially as we go late into the day. But satellite radar showing just a few clouds out there this morning. Again, had a few sprinkles overnight. Those cleared out. The clouds are clearing out. We're going to be nice and sunny through the rest of the day. So you can see on Futurecast as we go towards your lunch break, temperatures already at that point in the low 50s. So yes, this wind today will start to pump in that warmer air once again. So we're going to be about 10 degrees warmer compared to what we saw yesterday. So as we go into the afternoon, those temperatures will be pretty close to the upper 50s. But as we go into the evening hours after your drive home, a couple of these little hit and miss rain showers are going to start to push into the area. Mainly north and east of the Omaha metro, but wouldn't be shocked if we caught a little bit of that rainfall here in Omaha as well. But again, the farther north and east you live, better chance of catching some of that rain. But it's going to be very short-lived this evening. As we go into tomorrow morning, we're completely dry. Skies clear out once again. We're going to drop into the mid-30s for tomorrow morning, and then tomorrow afternoon, even better than today, believe it or not. We're going to top out in the low 60s for a lot of our cities, especially across eastern Nebraska. And it's going to come with a lot of sunshine as well, and even lighter wind than we're going to see out there today. Now, the problem is, as we go into Thursday morning, take a little wider view of Futurecast, and you can see a cold front's going to come through. So on Wednesday, our winds are still out of the south, pumping in the warmer air, but behind that cold front, those winds shift a little bit more out of the north, and that's going to bring the cooler air back into the region and drop those temperatures, but just a little bit. We're only going to fall into the mid-50s for your Thursday and Friday, so no huge cool down, but again, just a little bit cooler to finish off the work week. So today, temperatures are going to top out with all that sunshine, pretty close to a 59 for the afternoon. Overnight tonight then, or I should say early tonight, a couple little spy rain showers. Most of us are dry, and it looks like those temperatures will bottom out in those mid-30s. Now tomorrow afternoon, again, a little bit better, highs near 61. We'll see a lot of sunshine, winds not as bad as they will be today. And then as we go into the rest of the forecast, again, dropping to the mid-50s as we go into your Thursday and Friday with lots of sunshine both days, but Thursday breezy as that cooler air moves in. And then we get really windy over the weekend, but that's not a bad thing. That will pump warmer air back into the area, and we're looking at mid to upper 60s both Saturday and Sunday. More clouds the later we get into the weekend, eventually giving way to some rain late Sunday, possibly into Monday. Best chance of that will be south of I-80. But of course, for the latest updates on the go, you can always download our free Storm Shield app for App One Android smartphones and tablets and get the updated forecast throughout the day on demand. Of course, we'll have more from the zoo coming up after the break.
Welcome back. We're live at Omaha's Henry Dorley Zoo and Aquarium. And Mark, we've seen so much fun
Yeah.
stuff. We've seen dogs, snakes, crickets. That was a little unexpected.
And now the most picturesque thing, I
Yes,
think, at the zoo, the Desert Dome.
Absolutely beautiful with the sun rising on it. And I wanted to show you something that you probably won't see at the zoo. It's what happens at the education center with the kids. It's super adorable. Let's show the video of it. So at the education center, there's a couple of polar bears. And the kids have a tradition for one of the polar bears where when they walk by, they all have to just kind of tap the polar bear's bottom for a second.
I like how you call it tapping. I would call it spanking.
That's probably what they call it. But no one really knows how the tradition got started, but the teachers say they do it every morning.
Well, you have to, or something bad will happen later in the day.
Exactly. All right, well, thank you so much for joining us.